So we all know Thanos wipes out half the population in the entire universe, but what's going on with the villains?
This is actually a question that we have brought up before in the past, and we are about to be given the answer.
Right now. We begin our coverage today of Silver Surfer issue number 54, not where we left off from our prior coverage of 53. Rather, this issue is a companion piece to Infinity Gauntlet issue number 3.
So there is a sequence in Infinity Gauntlet issue number 3 where Wolverine and Hulk are on the roof, and Adam Warlock comes to visit them. And this issue appears to take place alongside that, timeline-wise, but in a different location.
But before we move forward, let's hit the comment section from our last video coverage, Silver Surfer issue number 53.
Yeah, there was that whole issue with the corrupt emperor increasing taxes because half the population of his planet was gone. We asked the question, like, what excuse would you give if you were a political ruler to kind of double taxes from half the people? We got some cool responses.
This comment is from Caleb Murphy, longtime supporter of the podcast. He says, okay, all you got to do is do a public broadcast announcement where you say, due to the disappearance of half the populace, we now have to double taxes because the people at the Comic Code Authority are gone, and if we don't replace them fast, comic books will warp the minds of our youth and destroy. All right, this is a very good comment here. You see what he's doing? If we don't have the authority, the youth will be corrupted. Thus, we got to double your taxes.
Makes sense.
That's a good
I'd pay
one.
money for that. That's a good cause.
That's a good one. We also had another one.
We had a cool comment from Comics Watching. Clumsy Foul-Up, the Emperor, which I can't believe that was his actual name.
That's good.
I thought that was a joke they were playing. He plays a very big role in the immediately preceding saga, in the Silver Surfer saga, and is a fantastic character. Highly recommend issues 1 through 32 of Silver Surfer, a giant cosmic soap opera featuring Galactus, the Elder's schemes and twists, and some of the best Surfer stories ever written.
Ooh. That's exciting, man.
I gotta go back and read that now.
I'm excited.
Homework to do.
I like that our community is giving us more reading homework.
I didn't know that guy ever appeared before.
All right, so we are now picking up back in Infinity Gauntlet issue number 3, okay? We start this off with the beginning. Hulk doesn't want to join the Infinity Gauntlet.
Right, I remember that when Adam Warlock is teleporting everyone to Avengers HQ. Hulk is kind of resistant at first.
Yeah, there's this team up. He doesn't want to join, and in Infinity Gauntlet 3, it's actually a pretty quick turnaround. Like, Hulk doesn't want to go. A couple pages go by. Hulk is there, and he's like, all right, let's screw some stuff up. Let's
make it happen. I'll be on the roof. Come get me when we need to go. Like, I'm just going to hang out.
Exactly. But this issue picks up right there. Hulk doesn't want to join, and Silver Surfer says, oh, this is a bad omen.
So we kind of know exactly where this takes place. So it's alongside issue 3 of Infinity Gauntlet with the Hulk. And that's kind of your framework for placing this issue in the overall timeline.
Within a couple hours of Hulk saying no and then him joining.
Right.
Very cool. All right, so Hulk doesn't want to join. Silver Surfer's like, this is a bad omen. The team is already fractured, and we are already in half the numbers as we should.
We haven't even started fighting yet, really. We're still assembling our forces.
Notice as he's leaving, he's got to get away. Silver Surfer doesn't want to deal with this right now. He's got a lot of weight. He's been struggling this whole time.
Yes.
And as he's walking out of the Avengers headquarters here, of course, you got to pay respect to the Kirby portrait on the wall, to the king. And then we have him reflecting about Silver Surfer issue number 38.
Right. This was the one where Thanos had kidnapped that guy, Guitar.
Yeah, just some mutilating.
Mutilated him, changed his whole face up, made it look like he was Thanos, and Silver Surfer killed the guy.
Yeah, he like took a knife to his face, carved his own image into this person so that Silver Surfer would be duped into killing him, thinking that he killed Thanos, when in fact, he just murdered Guitar.
Right. So this is all kind of coming back and weighing on Silver Surfer's mind, and it's kind of cool just to see this whole story that we've been explaining and going over this whole time. It's kind of cool to see callbacks like this to stuff we talked about months ago.
Well, why is he calling this back? Well, because he knows the final confrontation is approaching.
Yes.
He knows that as they move forward with the situation as it is, that Thanos has to be stopped at all costs. And this kind of gives you a little bit of a connection to Infinity Gauntlet 3, where you have Warlock talking to Hulk and Wolverine about needing to go the distance with Thanos, actually needing to take him out if the time comes. So this is all like part of this sequence of events, like the dichotomy of justified murder. He's got to get away. And this right here, This is a really cool scene because as someone who isn't as familiar with Silver Surfer, I think it's moments like this that Marvel had an opportunity with this ongoing saga, introducing people to characters like Silver Surfer and all these other individuals that pop up in this run, to give them a little bit more of an audience reaction, to give the audience more attention.
Yeah, there were probably people who were following the overall Infinity Gauntlet event back in the day who weren't necessarily Silver Surfer subscribers who picked up these kind of tie-in issues to get the overall picture, and now they're getting some important facts about how Silver Surfer works and his relationship with his board.
Exactly. Here, Silver Surfer wants to get away. He wants to take a couple minutes to think and he does this a lot. We've seen him just like want to have like some meditation moments. And we talked about this earlier in our coverage when he was traveling the stars, trying to get back to Earth to tell everybody about Thanos' impending doom. And it said that he was traveling, right? And we broke this down a little bit because he's traveling at light speed, faster than light speed at times. He's able to go across the universe very, very quickly. And we know that if you're traveling in space, well, if you're in space, there's no sound. So this is someone who, for centuries working with Galactus, traveling in silence, not experiencing sound as he's traveling, meditating. You know, he's alone and he's contemplating life, existence. He's seeing time and space in ways that we couldn't even comprehend. Similar to maybe how a dog uses his nose to smell, like experiencing the senses and reality in just a way that we can't even conceive.
It really makes sense that he's so wrapped up in his thoughts in his own head right here at the start of this issue because that's what he's used to. He's flying around space. He can't talk.
However,
all he has to do is think.
He's thinking, but I always kind of thought of him as a little bit of a loner, like he thinks by himself. But here, in this one panel, we find out that that's not the case.
No, apparently it appears that his board has a mind of its own.
Take me away, my board.
Right.
Show me the Earth. He talks to his board like it's sentient. He talks to his board kind of similar to how Eddie Brock talks to the symbiote.
I had never considered their relationship like that before.
He's flying through Central Park. He's trying to get away. And this is awesome because we had talked about what are the villains doing throughout this time.
We brought that up a few issues back. I think it was actually during Infinity Gauntlet number 3, the coverage we did for that. We asked at the end, like, what are the villains doing? We're seeing the heroes kind of band together. Dr. Doom is helping them out. But what are the other villains in the Marvel Universe doing while Infinity Gauntlet is happening?
Now, I have to point out, this video that we did, and I'm not boasting, over 1,000 views. We had a lot of our audience watch it. We had a lot of comments in the comment section. And not one person actually said, like, hey, just wait a couple issues. This is coming up.
Right.
We're finding out here, and I think the reason why no one mentioned it is because this isn't a run that a lot of people read.
People probably just read the main trade of Infinity Gauntlet, the event itself, and not the tie-ins.
It's this issue that makes me excited about covering every issue in this event because what villain does Silver Surfer run into in Central Park?
He runs into the Rhino.
What?
The Spider-Man villain.
Okay, what's going on, Ryan?
He's hanging out in Central Park, and he runs into a penguin, which for some reason didn't even strike me as that weird when it first happened. But now that I think about it, that's weird.
It is
you shouldn't
weird.
see a penguin in Central Park.
Silver Surfer's like, I've never seen this type of animal here.
Like, hey, little fella.
He starts talking to, he's like kind of talking to himself, but now he's kind of talking to his board too.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just not as familiar with
I should make it a point to learn Earth animals. I'm here all the time. I don't know shit about this planet. Like, I should start to learn what's going on with this place.
And then he sees more animals.
People are panicking and like running away. Like, oh God, we gotta go. Like, hey, please help, get away.
Why are there animals out?
Apparently there's a zoo. There's a zoo nearby. And the Rhino is kind of being almost like a hippie. It reminded me actually of 28 Days Later, the intro, when those like Greenpeace activists go in and set all the monkeys loose and unleash zombies all over the place. That's kind of what Rhino's doing.
Well, Silver Surfer, the first thing he thinks is, oh, okay, all these animals come from a zoo. That's interesting.
Yeah, they're not even legal on Zen law.
We outlawed zoos long ago.
I never thought of that before. That's a cool little tiny drop in his overall backstory.
Zen law is a advanced society. It's a utopia. You better believe that they're not keeping animals imprisoned at all. They've already thought that through and figured out a better way to manage their animal kingdom. And most zoos exist to try to get the public involved with animals. It's good to be able to be around it. You're familiar with them. You see them. They become more
entertainment in a way.
It's entertainment, but it keeps people thinking about them, thus preserving, right? Conservation. This is a utopia. They don't need the public's help. They're so smart. They already know. And they outlawed that long ago. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool element. I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2, and there's a sequence in that game where there's a traveling carnival kind of guy, and he hits a rock, and his whole cage busts open, and there's like a tiger that gets out and a zebra, and you have to run around and corral a bunch of escaped zoo animals. That's where my brand is
I
right
like
now.
it.
Yep.
I like that you're enjoying that game too, because I'm going to borrow it when you're done.
Please do.
All right, so he's got to stop the Rhino. I mean, this is just a one-off little thing, but he's like, yo, you can't be letting animals loose. And first off, why are you doing that?
Well, the world's about to end, you know? Fuck it. Let's just let them all loose. They shouldn't die in cages.
Whoa. It's true, though. They shouldn't die in cages, and I'm not as familiar with Rhino, and this is a really cool intro to this character for me because I've only known him as this like brute
Punching bag.
Yeah, in the show and even in some of the comics that I have read, he's definitely not as cool of a character. But this issue,
He doesn't ever get shown to be like a thinker. He's putting together a lot of thoughts right now, and he's actually making kind of a good point, almost in a way like Thanos does, proving a bad point in a good way.
the depth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of depth to this character, and you're seeing it here because he's about to just try and fight Silver Surfer. He's like, you're going to let me unleash these animals. Silver Surfer's like, yeah, they can harm people, and we can't let that happen.
Right.
So they got to live in cages. And Rhino's like, well, no.
I'm a bad guy. I don't care if it's a good thing if they cause some chaos, so they get in a little fight. And
Yeah, if they eat some people, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
what of it?
Who cares?
Half the population is gone. I mean, he is super pessimistic here. He's like, half the population's gone. We're all gonna die. Like, this
party.
is it.
He could be doing worse things, I guess.
It's Armageddon,
You know?
guys.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the final days, and he's not wrong. I mean, if you were living amongst the chaos of what would be the Great Disappearance, like, this is just insane. And Rhino's making a lot of good points here.
Until he lets the tiger out and then starts like attacking people. Like that part I could understand. You know, maybe don't do that, but that's not his overall focus.
So they get into a standoff. There's a fight. And this is actually my favorite page of the issue, where Silver Surfer is about to go at it with Rhino. Rhino grabs this, like, it's like a gumball machine.
Yep.
And just smashes it on Silver Surfer. And the color work is great here. All the gumballs flying all over the page.
Just a bunch of tiny little colorful circles all over. It's just a really visually appealing page.
I really enjoyed that.
Me too.
And then the next sequence of events, because they're standing off. Silver Surfer, notice he's like unchanged. He's acting like Thanos was acting when he was fighting Thanos. Just, there's nothing you can do. Like, what are you doing? You're a human. Like, this is kind of funny. Like, that's the face Silver Surfer has, but you don't know that that's what he's thinking. You're just seeing him just be completely unshaken by the attacks. And then you see a standoff because Rhino's like, I've had enough of this. And you know what happens when Rhino wants to end the combat?
He's got like one, you know, he's got a big horn. That's kind of his one go-to move.
He's got to just start winding up.
He's gonna charge.
And he's going to charge. He's going to charge hard.
That's his move.
And we have the face of Silver Surfer. Then we have the face of Rhino. And then we have Rhino's face deciding, I need to charge. And then the look of Silver Surfer and the look at Rhino. And he's coming towards the Silver Surfer. He's about to end the Silver Surfer, taking a metal spike through his chest. But not before Silver Surfer does what you least expect. He puts his hand out, bing, and just holds his horn.
For some reason, that's the sound I imagined it
Yeah,
making.
it's bing. And he's just like, what are you doing, man?
That would be so funny to see in action of some kind.
It would be good. That's
Comical.
really good. It's a really good moment here.
like
Just
stumbling,
like, ding,
trying to-
nothing happens. So you can't mess with
What are you
Silver
doing?
Surfer.
Like
What
I
are
have
you doing?
like cosmic space powers, man. You're a guy who runs. You're a big dude with a horn on his head who runs at people.
And you would think that this is going to just continue to go because Rhino is like, he's going to just do it till he dies. He's living life like he's going to die soon. But then he hears a gunshot.
Yeah, this kind of makes the whole issue take a turn because they go and investigate this gunshot, and it's a cop who has killed the tiger who got loose.
That's right. And Rhino now realizes that Silver Surfer was right.
Yeah,
This tiger died, or rather was shot because of him wanting to have them be free. And you see Rhino break down. And you don't know. I mean, in this moment, you got to think, he's sad because of the animal, but you also got to assume that as a villain, seeing this type of chaos, it's not a good thing. Like, these people, these human beings who are antagonists, they all have their reasons for being antagonists. And when half the population is gone, when everything is at risk, when it really comes down to it, is he crying because of a tiger being shot? Or is he crying because it's all ending and he's realizing that things are so heavy that is life even worth living in this moment? Is there any hope?
It's just got so deep and heavy right now.
It's what it is. And it's the freaking Rhino.
And it's a kid. It's comic for kids, ostensibly, for children. And this is some heavy like drama they've gone through in this one. A lot of philosophical questions about life and death and the end of all things.
Silver Surfer, his powers aren't just destructive.
Apparently, he can bring things back to life.
He can heal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the universe's power flows through him, and he fixes the tiger.
Yep.
Cheers it right back up, gives him a nice lick on the face. And rather than just leaving the scene, Silver Surfer chats with Rhino, and they agree that they have to put the animals back because this is where they need to be. And in order for them to be safe, they need to be caged. They need to be safe.
It's not just for the people to be safe, but the animals, they'll get shot.
And that there's still hope. That no matter what, there's still hope. And if we trust in the universe, we trust in human beings and the not just human beings, but all beings, all living species. That there is a reason to fight. Yeah,
he tells them, hey, we got a plan here. We're kind of getting a group of people together. We're gonna try and fight Thanos. There's still hope.
Mm-hmm.
You down? You want to join up with our anti-Thanos league or whatever the hell we're gonna call ourselves? And Rhino just kind of turns him down, like that's not my thing. But you got good luck.
Good luck.
And they kind of leave, and they have a little bit of respect for each other that I had no idea that this issue was gonna make me feel this kind of thing.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
And Silver Surfer, he's got a little pep in his step. He did a little good task. I mean, this is one of those things where he's like, it feels good to accomplish something.
Yeah, and his whole reason for leaving and going out on this adventure in the first place was to kind of distract himself from the interpersonal tensions over at Avengers headquarters, and now he's got his mind on something else.
He gets back, and boom, you got Bruce Banner. You got the Hulk in his tracksuit looking so fly.
Still waiting on that.
I know that maroon tracksuit, man. It's so dope. And yeah, Hulk is like, I'm here and I'm ready to take this guy down.
Right.
So, all right, what happened? Hulk came back. They got him. He went to the roof, had this one-on-one with Wolverine and Warlock.
Yep.
So I guess 1-on-2. Yeah, he's on the team now. So like this all took place during Infinity Gauntlet issue number 3. What a cool way to just incorporate into the story.
Just adding layers and layers and layers and layers to the whole damn thing. It's beautiful.
I want to know from the comic book community who your favorite Spider-Man villain is. Doc Ock is my favorite. Who's your favorite?
I was actually just going to say that because I've been playing the Spider-Man game recently too, and that whole Doc Ock is handled so beautifully in there.
Right, and I really like seeing Rhino in this issue.
Yep.
Very cool.
Not expecting that.
Like and subscribe and comment down below letting us know your thoughts because we do have a copy of Thanos Rising #1 in VF near mint. It's a great book. I love this cover, and we're going to be sending this out next week when we cover our next issue of the Infinity Gauntlet saga.
We'll see you next Saturday.
We do appreciate your time today, comic book fam, and as always,
geek responsibly.
Enough said. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you are not part of the mystery mail call yet, you have until the 15th to sign up. This right here are all of the December mystery mail call boxes so far, all reserved. And yeah, I'm excited to send these out. But if you haven't joined the community yet, hit the link in the bio and join. Yeah, see, Rainbow. He thinks you should join too.